All right. If you're ready to get started, we'll let some people come in, but we have some people on the attendees. So thank you, everyone, for joining us today. We're with Jenna Henderson, COO of WorkMark, and she's going to be introducing ServSafe Ops for us today. Thank you, Jenna.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for attending this morning. I am here today to talk to you a little bit about ServSafe Ops, which is a technology application built specifically for the National Restaurant Association, really to help the hospitality industry with standard operating procedures. So I will take you through a quick presentation, a little demo so that you can see the app live and in use, and then we can open it up for some Q&A at the end. Okay, so again, ServSafe Ops is really meant to digitize standard operating procedures, to provide access to training and information, to give you a record as a restaurant manager or owner that tasks are being complete at the location level. So what you see in front of you is really our tech stack. It is the features and functionality of the application. I'll start and talk about task consolidation a bit and say that what that is really a checklist tool. So think of all the things that you do at the restaurant on a daily basis. Opening checklist, closing checklist, midday, deep cleaning, restroom, manager. We're going to take all of those checklists for your specific restaurant and make this app customized for you by digitizing them and putting them in a task list. If you don't have checklists of your own, or if they are in your head for now, we actually have a number of checklists that we've worked with the National Restaurant Association to put together that can give you a foundation and a jumping off point to really digitize those standard operating procedures. So before I talk about nudges, here's what I will say about task lists and checklists. I love checklists. I love them when I was running restaurants, which I spent 20 years doing. I love them at home, much to the chagrin of my two little children. But I love a good checklist because it really gives me what I need to do for the day, specifically when I was running restaurants. And though all the things that were on those checklists, which were laminated on the stockroom wall, they're important for customer service, for food safety, for sales building, for employee engagement. And then I would walk to the door of the restaurant in the morning, ready to do my checklist and delegate them out to my staff. And the key would break, 2 people would call out, the truck wouldn't show up, and the toilet would overflow. And that was a typical day in the restaurant business. I was always putting out fires. And so how do I remember to do the things that are on those checklists, whether they're digitized or not? That's where our nudging comes in. It's a reminder. So if you're a breakfast restaurant and your opening checklist starts at 5 a.m. Monday through Friday and maybe 6 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday, we're going to set up a nudge reminder to ping the staff responsible for that checklist on their phone that says, hey, do this thing at this time. And we can set those nudges up to reoccur in whatever way works best for your restaurant. So one time, Monday through Friday, they can come every hour, every 3 hours, once a month, once a day. It can be an individual nudge. So again, this platform is really customized for your specific location. Issues, there is an issues feature, and that's really like, hey, if the back door to the outside doesn't close properly, I would love it if a staff member would take a picture and let me as the restaurant manager or owner know about it. And I'll show you that more when we go through the app. There's a training section as well. And again, this is customized for your location. So all of the training that you have for your staff, whether it be onboarding training with culture videos and employee manuals, or ongoing recipe training, or knife sharpening skills, all of those things can be digitized and put into the application for you. So it will be your specific training. In addition to that, the National Restaurant Association has given you a foundation of training materials with over 80 training videos that come standard with the app. There are 6 ServSafe COVID videos, 3 in English and 3 in Spanish, on delivery, takeout, and de-escalation. And then there are just 80 standard training videos, things like how to calibrate a thermometer, how to chop an onion, how to put away a truck, that you can really use, again, for all of your staff for ongoing training. There is a work text or work chat feature, and that's really an internal communication tool. So staff talks to one another all day long via text. If we can move those work conversations over to a work platform to keep them better organized and candidly give you as the restaurant manager access to them, it would be helpful for day-to-day operations. We can set them up in groups similar to WhatsApp. So think dishwasher group, delivery driver group, frontline cook group, hostess group, manager group. And your managers can use this to leave each other end of shift notes, almost like a digital red book. And then there's the news or information section, and that's exactly what it sounds like. We have pre-populated industry information in here for you. So think of recalls from the FDA, COVID information from the CDC, updated regulations from OSHA. But then you can also put your own specific restaurant information in here. So if you have an update to an employee manual, it can go in the news section. If you'd like to give a culture story about an exciting customer that came into the restaurant, you can put that in here as well. So I will stop my share for a quick moment, share the entire screen, and take you through a quick demo of the application. So you'll see in front of you that it says Nutrition on Main. That's a restaurant, but it would be your specific restaurant logo. Again, the idea is to make this a customized product for your brand. I'll take you into the messaging section, and these are those nudges that I talked about, and they're not just for reminders for checklists or training or things to do. It's also a way to disseminate information to the staff. So here's a feedback nudge as an example, where if you had multiple restaurants, you could ask, what is the best method for employee recruitment that you've used over the last 30 days? And then they can submit that feedback. It rolls up in the manager portal, and you can share best practices. You can send a direct nudge. So here's one with a link direct to the CDC, where employees can get the information and then say, got it. So not only are you disseminating information, but you're actually getting a record of who has read what it was that you were sending out. Similarly, you can do a poll nudge. So please confirm you've received the most recent rollout guide for a limited time offer menu item. And they're going to say yes or no. And it allows you as a restaurant owner or manager to manage to exception instead of asking everyone or sending information via email. So here's those checklists that I was talking about earlier, and I'll take you into one just to show you how easy it is to say yes or no. I'll pause here for a moment, and then you'll see a hyperlink on the left-hand side that says checklist details. This is probably my favorite feature of the app. And I will say, because I was a bit of a maniac when I was running restaurants about a deep cleaning checklist. So on the first Monday of the month, everything had to come out of the walk-in and the floor had to be swept. On the second Monday of the month, it was about deep cleaning the oven in my restaurants. But not everybody knows how to deep clean the oven. And with the staffing and onboarding challenges that we've had in our current climate, it's difficult to get to training everybody as quickly as we would like to. And so what if they don't know how to do it? We can embed a micro-learning right here in the checklist. So they could click on details. Let's say this was a deep clean the oven, and they can watch a video, read a manual, refer to a picture with notes, and get really on the spot training. So with our checklisting tool, we're saying, here's what you have to do. With our nudging, we're saying, here's when. And with this feature, we're saying, if you need it, here's how. You can sign the bottom of the checklist, although every completed checklist will be time and date stamped in the manager's portal. You'll see that there's a check mark that says, yes, this was complete, but a 2 thumbs down, meaning there were 2 things that we answered no to. Again, this allows us to manage to exception and check on the things that weren't done instead of going around the restaurant and looking at everything. In addition, we can look at some data that says 97% of my checklists for opening were complete. I'm going to focus on that 3%. This is the issues feature that I talked about. And really the genesis of this was me and a leak in a 3-bowl sink that went unnoticed by me and unreported by my employees and turned into a flood of the kitchen floor. And so what we really want to do is empower employees to use their phone. And when they see an issue, you guys will see my coffee and my breakfast here, take a picture, annotate that picture, calling out exactly where the problem is, mark it as urgent or normal, and then select a category like cleanliness as an example. That issue rolls up in real time in the manager dashboard so that restaurateurs can call for service, prioritize, mark as complete, and again, look at data that maybe says, hey, I had 15 food safety issues last month. Maybe that is the focus of my next shift meeting. The news section, again, has information. So here is a link to the EPA about cleaning supplies. But you can put all of your customized information in this news section as well. There is a training section that not only has your customized training and the training provided by the National Restaurant Association, but it also has application refresher training. So if someone forgets, what is the library again and how do I use it? They can go right in here and refresh themselves and then say, I have completed the training. So from an onboarding perspective, if you had your staff and you wanted them to watch 3 videos and read 2 manuals in the first 5 days of employment, you would get a record of who had actually done those things so that you could make sure that onboarding happened quickly and efficiently. The last thing I want to show you in the application is really the library. And this is whatever you want the staff to have access to in real time. So you could upload all of your recipes into here. They're saved in our secure cloud server. And you could categorize them. So sandwiches, soup, salads. And then if an employee had a question about how to make something, they could just search right in their phone. Search by category, search by recipe name, and it becomes like a pocket manual right there on the line. And the exciting part is that you can update it in real time. So no more hole punching and putting in a binder that may or may not get utilized. So I will stop sharing the app, switch back to the presentation for just one more quick moment, and then we can open it up for some Q&A. So I want to talk a little bit about how this application is helpful in today's environment. We chatted a bit about employee onboarding and engagement, and also ongoing education. So the idea is that the employees that we get to work in our restaurants today, we want them engaged with the brand. We want them to feel like they are part of something and getting ongoing learning. And we want them to feel like they have all the tools they need to do their job. This application, through checklists, nudges, and training, as well as the library, can really help make onboarding more efficient and engagement a sure thing. There's also flexibility in the technology. So we're going to work with you to figure out what works best for your location. So here's the exciting part. Because you are a member of the New Jersey Restaurant and Hospitality Association, for a limited time, you get this app for 6 months for free. The offer is only good if you sign up through the end of March. So hopefully we'll have some excitement after this call. I want to talk about free for a minute. It is not a 3-year contract with a 6-month free term. It is literally a 6-month no obligation contract. We are really, really confident in the ROI. In addition, we have unlimited users and unlimited checklists. So there are some competitors out there, none of which that have a partnership with the NRA and none of which that have nudging, but they're out there from an operational tool perspective. But oftentimes we'll say you have a set price, let's say $100 a month for 10 users, and then you pay more after that, or for 10 checklists, and then you pay more after that. We are unlimited on both sides. I am a firm believer, having spent 20 years in the industry, that more people and more process is always a good thing. So after that 6 months free, there is a cost. Our street pricing, so if you aren't a restaurant association member, you pay $89 per restaurant per month. Because you are a New Jersey Restaurant and Hospitality Association member, you get a greater than 50% discount. So the app would cost you $40 per restaurant per month. So what happens next. If you are interested, you can reach out to me directly, and I will put my information up here on the screen and also on the chat for all to see. We would then sign you up for a contract. I would put you with our operations and deployment team, and they would help you upload all of your information to the application. They would train restaurant owners and managers how to send nudges, assign checklists, user management, and then we would help train your staff. Here's how you use the app. They would then download the application for free from either the App Store or the Google Play Store, and they would put in a unique 5-digit code associated with your restaurant. When they did, all of your information would pop up. So a couple of things that we get asked a lot is, can I go in and delete them if they quit? Absolutely. You can go into the administrative portal and take a look at the users and deactivate their use, and then they no longer have access to your information. One of the other things that I want to mention is if you are a multi-unit brand, so whether you have 2 or 20 or 2,000 restaurants, we have a robust hierarchy built into the back end of the application so that you could sit as a restaurant owner, franchisee, franchisor, or corporate employee, and you could manage hundreds of restaurants under you by sending culture messaging and nudging, by filling the library with information that they can all have access to, while at the same time giving each individual location administrative access at the location level by a manager so that they can go in and assign checklists and do things that are specific to their restaurant. So we are really looking forward to empowering the winning habits of you and your staff. I will open it up for questions now.
If anyone has any questions, you could drop it in the chat. Feel free.
And I am putting my information in the chat for all of you as well, if you'd like to reach out directly.
Thanks, Jenna.
All right. Well, it doesn't look like we had any questions, which I will assume is because hopefully I answered everything throughout the entire presentation. But again, the promotion for 6 months free ends at the end of March. So I'd love for all of you to take advantage of that. I see we do have a question. Is there a scheduling module? We do not have scheduling in here. It's really a whole kind of other animal from a technology perspective. What you can do is post a copy of the schedule in the news section just from a visibility perspective, but there's not the ability to create or change schedules in the application. All right. Well, thank you all so much, for joining today and for learning a little bit more about ServSafe Ops. And please feel free to reach out to me directly if you have questions or interested in signing up. But have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Jenna. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today.
Thank you.
Have a good day.